Hey y'all, welcome to the 9th episode of the Yarn This podcast. I'm Shama, Jessie's Girl 84 on Ravelry and Instagram. You can also find my Yarn This podcast groups on Ravelry and Facebook. Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2016. If this is your first time viewing, I appreciate you giving me a chance. I know there are a lot of podcasts out there to watch. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks a lot for coming back. I appreciate it. I had planned to record during the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta this past weekend with Kim and Annette, and we went. And it was awesome, but it was just exhausting, and there was a lot going on, so we never got a chance to record. The three of us will get together and record soon. But I'm going to do a follow-up to that and tell you what I'm working on, what I've been working on, and what I'm going to work on. So let's get started. My segments today are Puppy Love, my works in progress. Another one, Bites the Dust, my finished objects. The final countdown, soon to be started. We Are Family, knitting groups, fiber festivals, indie dyers, knitting friends. Things that make you go, knitting terms that you may or may not know already. And if you're a newer knitter, you really might not know them. And 1 week, miscellaneous, just things about my life. So let's get started. First of all, Puppy Love, my works in progress. I know y'all are going to be shocked, but I'm still working on the campsite. I love it, and I actually made some progress on it last week. Poot. 3 stitches, 4 stitches came off the needle. I'm going to slide them back on. Anyway, I probably need to put it on a longer cable. Here's what I've done so far. And it's really, really hard to see. It looks bluer than it is. It's blue, but it's also got purple undertones. It's really, really, really lovely. And it's lighter. This is kind of dark and muted, and it's not bright, but it's lighter than this. And you can see the eyelets. I'm really excited to get this shawl done, and I'm fixing to put a lot more effort into it to get it finished because I would like to have it on our trip to Indiana next month. This is a pattern by Alicia Plummer. You can find it on pompom.com. Pompom is a European, British probably, knitting magazine. It's a charted pattern. I don't like charts, and there were some mistakes, and I know I say this every week, but in case this is your first time or you're just getting interested in knitting it and hadn't paid attention before, there are some mistakes apparently in the charts, and you can go through other people's notes and find out what the problems are. But also there's a woman named Pam0908 on Ravelry who wrote everything out, which is my preference, and you can send her a private message and she will email you a download for the written instructions. I'm knitting this on Brook Farms yarn Solo Silk, which is 50% fine wool and 50% silk, on size 7, 4.5 millimeter needles. And that's all I have to say about it right now. I'm not even sure where I am. I know when I pull up my pattern, I'll know. But the other thing I'm working on is actually something new, believe it or not. It's my Peppermint Mocha Socks by CC Almond, Java Pearl on Ravelry. This is how far I've gotten. You can see it's a slip stitch pattern, and the stitches stagger. You move over 1 stitch every time you do a round of slip stitches. Now, I should be further than this, but when I started this at Yellow Rose, I was so excited that I was doing slip stitches all around, and since I'm doing this toe up, you really don't want slip stitches on the sole. So I had to rip back to the toe, and it wasn't that far, but then I couldn't really seem to get back to it. And then we've had some events this week here in Houston that I'll talk about in 1 week, and I've been kind of distracted and tired and not able to focus and make progress on this, but I am enjoying these socks. They're simple and cute. I'm knitting them on size 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles, and the yarn I'm using is Kim Marie's Knit Knacks Peppermint Mocha yarn. It's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And I'm knitting them on my 9-inch ChiaoGoos. And they're going really fast, and I'm enjoying them. Hopefully, by the time I record again, I'll be done with these, because I will need to be ready to start some new socks, which I will talk about in the final countdown. So that's it for my works in progress. And generally, you can tell that I don't have more than a couple of things on the needles. That's overwhelming to me. I do have another shawl that's in timeout, that's been in timeout for a couple of years, but it's a Christmas shawl. I would like to get it done way before Christmas so that I can wear it this year and not come up on December and think, ugh, I don't have time to finish it again this year. So I'll get that done later. But that's it. I can't handle having more than that on the needles. So, another one bites the dust, my finished objects. I've actually had 3 things that I finished this time. Really, it's not that big of a deal. One thing I was more than halfway finished with the last time I recorded, and the other 2 I'll tell you about in a minute, but they're not very big and don't take very long. So, these are my Wizard's Duel socks. I was working on the Gryffindor socks last time, and I had a sock, and I had already finished the Slytherin sock. These were so much fun. I used CC's Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern, which is just a vanilla sock, on size 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles, which is always my go-to for socks, unless there's a reason. Now, with these Peppermint Mochas, she did say in the book that you might want to go up a needle size on the leg because there's not a lot of stretch, but I'm leaving a lot of room. So I'll just have to check when I start moving up the leg to see if I need to go up a needle size. But normally, I knit mine on 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles. I did Fish Lips Kiss Heel on these. And I used Kim Marie's Knit Knacks yarn in the Wizard's Duel colorway. And I think that's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon as well. I haven't even worn them yet because we used these as the display at the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta last weekend, and hung them right over the yarn, the Wizard's Duel yarn, and it got people to look at the yarn and buy it up. So having a display knitted up is a really good thing. But now I can finally wear these, and I'm very excited. Next, Kim is going to dye up Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, and since I got sorted into Ravenclaw on Pottermore, I'm excited about those as well. But Gryffindor was where I always thought I would be, but since Luna Lovegood is a Ravenclaw, I'm good with it. Now, the other 2 projects that I finished are actually a little pattern that I designed myself. Now, I'm not a designer. I would really like to be, but I'm not. I'm hoping to get into it a little bit more. I'm sorry, hang on just a minute. I use tablets. I record on my tablet, but I also use other tablets to show you pictures of things. My other tablet was dead, so I was going to borrow my younger son's tablet, and it was dead too. So I'm having to keep it plugged up so it'll work. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you know what Yetis are. They're these insulated mugs. Oops. The Yetis are very, in my opinion, they're expensive. They're $40, but they do keep your drink cold for a couple of days. The ice won't even melt for a couple of days. And I need to drink water. And since my weight loss surgery, if it's not ice cold, I can't deal with it. So I'm actually drinking more water since I got this one. But mine is a ripoff, and it's called RTIC Arctic. if you're from Texas, and if you go through Texas, you've heard of the convenience store Buc-ee's. Well, you can get both the Arctic and the Yeti at Buc-ee's, but I got the knockoff just because it's half price. And since we're going on the trip next month, I will definitely need as much water as I can have with me at all times. Anyway, I have one now. My husband has one. My brother has one. And my older son has one. And my younger son wants one. And my brother spends a couple of nights a week with us on business, at least for now. So that means there are 4 of them in the house. And so I decided that the best way to keep them separate is for them to have a sleeve. It's not going to keep it more insulated, but it will keep it, you will know which one is yours. And, you know, a lot of people are carrying them now, so you could take it to work and you're not going to get it confused with someone else's. And it's easier to hold on to because you can tell that they're metal and they're just a little bit slippery. So, anyway, I call it the Yeti Cozy. You can get it on my blog, yarn-this.blogspot.com, and I'll link it in the show notes. But my brother wanted his in Gryffindor colors, so I knitted his first and did the design as I was going. There's something I did with his that I did not do with my husband's, just because I'm sorry, it's not wanting to work. Hang on. Anyway, this is what it looks like. Sorry. Yes, there we go. I started it bigger at the top and decreased it where the cup decreases. Did 2 sections of ribbing at the top and 1 at the bottom. I also put in the pattern that when you change colors in ribbing, you need to knit the first round so that you don't get this. Can you see those little blips right there? If you knit the first round, those won't happen. That's the mistake I made on my brother's, but he'll never know and he doesn't watch the podcast. So, and this is what it looks like on the cup. So, I mean, it's very basic. It's a free pattern, and but it's done, and it gave me a little more confidence to maybe try something else. Now, my husband wanted his to look like the checkered flag for the IndyCar races, which begins and ends with black. So I had to do an extra section. I was doing even numbered rows, but I had to do an extra section of black so that his would end and begin and end in black. And this is what his looks like. You can kind of see here that it's where it gets smaller here. So here's the black and black. And they're a lot of fun. I knocked it out, well, in a few hours. Now that one, I started last Wednesday, I think, before I went to Yellow Rose, but I didn't pick it up again till yesterday. And I finished it yesterday. And I was only like 5 rows in. So, anyway, Yeti Cozy by me, Jessie Squirrel 84, Shama Dawson Designs, and it's on my blog, yarn-this.blogspot.com. Oh, I forgot to tell you what yarns I used. Sorry. This is just, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby in black and white. And then the other one is some leftover Plymouth Encore, like this, Plymouth Encore worsted that I used for my son's Harry Potter blanket a few years ago. And I used size 6, 4.0 millimeter needles. Good grief, sorry. So, that's the Yeti Cozy. Real original name, right? Anyway, okay, the final countdown, my future projects. I've said these before, so I'm just going to quickly touch on them. I'm going to start the Valentine cowl soon. The Hitafude, or however you say it, again, really soon with, where's the yarn? With this yarn. It's Knit Picks, and it's a fingering weight. It's Stroll fingering in the Inverness tonal colorway. Oof, it's just gorgeous. So I'm excited to start that. Also, I'd like to start the chessboard scarf from Geeky Knits, or Geek Knits. Here's the book. Because my husband would like a checkerboard scarf for the race, because it really is cold usually the first few days that you're out there before the day of the race. It's in this book, Geek Knits by Joan of Dark, and I just came across it accidentally. It's called the chessboard scarf, and it starts off like this, and it goes into this black section for most of it, and then back on the other side with this. But what I'm going to do is make the squares a little smaller and do them all the way around. Hopefully I can get that started and finished before we go to Indiana. See my cute little magnetic donut bookmark? I'm really into these magnetic bookmarks now. I think I'm going to be getting some more when I go back to Barnes & Noble and get a little collection going, because I could use them for a lot of things. There are a couple of other things that I would like to start. In 1 week I'm going to talk about the flooding that we've had in Houston this week. But I wanted to show you, or tell you a little story quickly. Some people that we go to worship with got flooded out of their apartment, and they have a little girl that's about 3 years old, and they had to leave her stuffed animals behind. So I would like to knit a couple of things for her. Her name is Lily, and I was trying to figure out a doll, and there are thousands of knitted dolls on Ravelry, and there were a lot of cute ones, and I just couldn't decide. So I found this little pattern today. It's called Lily Knitted Doll, and here she is. My Lily is, not my Lily, our little Lily that we know is very blonde, so I'll knit her with blonde hair. But the cutest thing about this doll, well, she's adorable, but she comes with this little wardrobe. And I might just get the doll knitted up with a dress or something, and then maybe make the other little outfits and give her over a period. But, yeah, I think that is a precious, precious little pattern by Suzy, S-U-Z-Y, Wool, let's see, Rabbit. And I hope to get that started sooner than later, just because Lily is going to need some things. She's going to be sad about her stuffies if they can't get them out, and I doubt they can, because they had several feet of water in their apartment. Okay, the other thing is Rabbit by Susan B. Anderson. This is the cutest little rabbit. I had another one picked out, but honestly, this one is just so much cuter. This is Rabbit. I'm going to do it a little bit different. That's a cute little smooth rabbit. It looks like it's knit in a cotton. Stitch definition is great, but I want her to have a fuzzy, colorful rabbit. And I've had this yarn. It's Soft Illusion, super bulky, from, it's a Yarn Bee yarn from Hobby Lobby. I've had it for several years now. You can see it's got like pink and blue and green and yellow in it. I don't know if you can see, actually. Yeah, you can. And it's wrapped around a white base, and it's really fuzzy. So I think that'll make a really cute bunny rabbit for Lily. And I probably will do the bunny first, just simply because it'll be quicker and easier, and I can at least get her something in the next, hopefully, week. And the last thing that I have, nope, I'm going to save that for We Are Family and talk about some new yarns I've gotten. So We Are Family. This past weekend, Kimmery 73, Annette 79, and I went together to the Yellow Rose Fiber Fiesta in Seguin, Texas. This is a yearly fiber festival in Seguin, which is a small town, I don't know, about 45 minutes east of San Antonio. It's a cute little town. It's a really very cute little town. They have arts and crafts style houses, and their little downtown area is cute and quaint. It's just really, really cute. It kind of made me want to live in it, because arts and crafts style houses are my favorite. But I'm not moving. That would be too far from the rest of my family. But we got there Thursday night, and you could set up Thursday, but we had trouble getting off, and so by the time we got there, they had already closed for the night. So we got there and went and checked into the hotel and got something to eat, and then we got up Friday morning and got there when they opened and got set up. So Friday was a little difficult. We were tired from the day before, and setting up is a little difficult. It's not horrible, but it does take some work. But it was a lot of fun. The first day, there were quite a few people, but it was kind of slow. I got to see some of my knitting friends from my online group, Lone Star State Knitters. It's a Yahoo group for Texas women only. And I don't get to see those girls very much anymore. They're from all over Texas, and it was really, really great getting to see them. Also, we met a guy from Pennsylvania who was in San Antonio for business, and he's a crocheter. He's on Ravelry. His Ravelry name is DGOU, which is Doug in alphabetical order, which I thought was cute. And he had several bags when he came into our booth, and I think he bought some of Kim's yarn, and he bought her Hello Kitty bags and another bag, her hedgehog bag, I believe, and those were all she had of those, and he ordered more. And he and I sent him, I friended him on Ravelry, and he sent me a message, and he said, yeah, he had bought something in every single booth there because he likes to support independent dyers and spinners and whatever, these little companies. And I thought it was really neat. He was very friendly and outgoing, and it was really nice to meet you if you're watching, Doug. And the booth next to us was Savvy Skeins yarn. I hadn't heard of her before, I'm sorry to say. Her name is Allie, and she is amazing. She is very sweet and kind. Her yarn is beautiful. She does just amazing work. She's just neat, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to get to know her. And I bought some yarn from her, but that's coming up in a minute. So you can look her up. She's on Instagram. She has a Facebook for her business, Savvy Skeins. Everywhere she's Savvy Skeins, as well as Ravelry. So SAVVY SKEINS, Savvy Skeins. She had her daughter Madeline with her. Madeline was precious. She's 16. She knits. I think she crochets, and I saw her spinning. She's a really good knitter and spinner, and she's a very sweet girl. And on the second day, on Saturday, she had her son Ethan with her. Ethan, I think, is about 17, and he was there to help them take things down. He seemed like a very sweet boy, but he was feeling a little bit under the weather that day. Excuse me just a minute. Sorry about that. My younger son was on his way to work. So next I'm going to talk about my yarns that I purchased while I was there. Well, and I also was given a bag. Let me start with that. When I work with Kim, the last time she gave me a skein of yarn that I haven't used yet. I'm going to use it on my Valentine cowl shawl. This time she let us pick out a bag for helping her. And I got this fox bag. Look at the adorable foxes all over it. Or is that foxen? At the time, she didn't even think she could find this fabric anymore. She did, but it's a really cute fabric. And inside is a rainbow, like rainbow circles. And you hear the click. The top of it has metal tape measure that you cut up and put in there. And it opens and closes. You don't have zippers or Velcro or anything, but your bag will close. And it's not so tight that you can't pull your yarn out through it. I keep my, where did I put it? Back in here? Oh, here it is. I keep my yarn for this in here for my peppermint Mocha Socks, and it just feeds out through the top of the bag. It's really, really a great bag. Kim does really, really good work, and people loved her bags. Now the yarn. First I bought from Kim Marie's Knit Knacks. I've said that before. It's Kim Marie's Knit Knacks .etsy.com. It's not on here. Yeah. The first one she dyed, could not be more perfect for me. The colorway is 1984, year I graduated from kindergarten, high school, and it's neon. You probably can't see just how bright it is, and it's on a sparkle. You can kind of see the sparkles. This neon yellow, this highlighter yellow, I had a jumpsuit that was this exact color my freshman year in college, and I would have friends that would say, "Oh, I saw you at chapel this morning because I saw your neon yellow outfit." I'm like, "Thank you." I loved that outfit. The next one I bought from Kim is called Rainbow Connection. What are you going to do? I had no choice but to buy it. It's sparkle. Can you see the sparkles? Yeah. And it's Kermit the Frog, Rainbow Connection. I love Kermit the Frog. I love the Muppets. So this had to come home with me as well. So I'm very excited. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with either one yet. Maybe socks, maybe not. Just have to see. This would make an amazing sock head hat. So I don't know. But I couldn't pass them up. I also bought from another dyer that I've bought from before. I don't know if you recall my You'll Shoot Your Eye Out Christmas socks. That yarn was dyed by Brazen Stitchery, and yeah, they had some more yarn this time that I could not resist. This one I thought I was through, and this was actually the second to the last skein I bought after I thought I was through. This one is called Evil Queen. Oh, you really can't see. This red is deep, deep blood red. It's beautiful. And it's got a darker purple and a lighter purple. And of course you can see all the sparkle. But Evil Queen, oh my goodness, yes. So I told them, I said, y'all are evil. I hate you and I love you. But anyway, they're great. They have good senses of humor. They always have the cutest pencils, and I left mine in my purse. It's like a silver pencil, real pretty. This is the one I got from them at Bernie. It's a Christmas one when I got my Christmas yarn. Anyway, they always have pencils to give away at their booth because they have a pencil obsession. And they're neat. They're just really, really neat. The other one I bought from them, Muppets again, and it goes along with my favorite commercial right now. C is for cookie. C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. How about you? Sparkly blue. Absolutely perfect. Oh my goodness. I mean, all of these are too pretty to go on my feet. I just don't know. But then again, I wear my clear tennis shoes and you can see my socks. We'll see. We'll see. It's not time to do those yet. I bought this gray, which, as you can probably tell, is not my norm. I really like color, but at the same time, I've been really thinking about gray lately and how nice it would be to have like a gray shawl, maybe a gray mama vertebrae or something like that. But this one is not going to be enough to make a mama vertebrae, but nothing but a little shawlette. But I just couldn't pass this up. It is 70% merino silk, 70% merino and 30% silk, sorry. And it is by Fiber Arts Republic from the Fire Ant Ranch in Texas here. It's 435 yards of fingering weight yarn. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. It's got this amazing sheen to it. Oh, silk. And it smells good because yarn always smells good to me. My family and friends think even my knitting friends kind of look at me a little funny because I always smell yarn, even other people's yarn. Sorry. The first time I went into the Brazen Stitchery booth, they were giving away tiny little mini skeins, 20 yards. And this one is a Fiesta self-striping, and it was a show exclusive for 2016. It's this yellow. It's actually darker than this. This looks really buttery. Let's see. I've got my light behind it, but I don't get enough light if I don't. Anyway, this is a beautiful yellow. I might stick it in something, just like a few rounds or something. Who knows? And the last one I bought at the show was by Savvy Skeins. I told y'all about her earlier. Her name is Allie. Savvy Skeins. And I was looking and looking. She has some beautiful yarn. Oh my goodness. She had some that had silk, and she had some sparkle. She had some that had Doctor Who references, for crying out loud, which Kim ended up getting for Amy, which was from the Vincent van Gogh episode, which is my favorite episode of all, even though David Tennant's my favorite doctor. But I chose Peacock because peacocks are my second favorite bird. I think you can kind of see a pretty good representation of the color on this. I really need a second skein because this is definitely going to become a shawl. For one thing, it doesn't have any nylon in it. It's 100% superwash merino. But she didn't have any more. But she's going to be at the Houston Fiber Festival in June, like the 24th and 25th or something. I'll let you know closer to time. And we're going to be there too, so I will get another skein of this from her then. And I get to have breakfast with her, and I'm really, really excited to be with Allie and Madeline again. So those were the yarns that I bought. At the end of the show, Kim had a couple of little gadget bags that she had made and had put on her Etsy shop that no one's ever bought. And since the first time I saw this little bag, I've wanted it. But she let us, Annette and I each picked one, and I got this one. It's an optical illusion bag. The fabric is. You can see it's not very big. It's perfect for, like, you know, some stitch markers and a pair of scissors and whatever else you need. I always need things. And the inside of it is this pretty little green polka dot. Oh, I love this little bag. It's so cute. And I'm pretty sure I'll keep some stitch markers in here. Maybe all my ones that are in bags. Which brings me to the last thing about Yellow Rose, and that is stitch markers, and more stitch markers. They set up in advance for people to make and bring at least 50 stitch markers, and then you could wear a button that said stitch marker swap. So we all had the button, and I only got 10 made because we started making them 2 days before we had to leave to go, and I just couldn't get the regular ones with the jump rings made. We did finally find something, I'll show you in a minute, with jewelry wire. I still have 2 of mine left. But people were generous. They were like, oh, you don't need to give me one. I'll give you one of mine. My friend Laurel Smith, and Laurel, I forgot to look up your Ravelry name. I'm sorry. Came in with this huge stitch holder full of stitch markers she had made, and I'll show you hers in just a minute. But I came away with a handful, and I really like them all. And next year I will definitely have a whole bunch made to swap, because it was a lot of fun. But here's the thing. She's got this, I got this stitch holder, and so you can see all of my awesome stitch markers on here. I shouldn't say all of them are awesome, because I made 2 of them. But I had one of these the night before. I've had them, I think I bought myself a Teach Yourself to Knit kit from Walmart when I first started knitting, and it had one of these in it. And I've used it a couple of times, but really it's more in the way. I prefer to use scrap yarn if I need to have something off to the side. And so the night before we went on Saturday, I had one of these in my notions bag and threw it away. Yeah, I know, that was stupid. And we got there, and my friends had their stitch markers on one, and so Kim got one for me. She went somewhere and got one for me, and I plan to fill this sucker with stitch markers. But anyway, so I'm going to show you the ones that I got in the swap, because there aren't that many. This one's just a plain little ring. I thought it was really cute, though. You could use that on really big needles, which sometimes I need. This one is from Brazen Stitchery. The C is for Cookie and Evil Queen yarn. See, Brazen Stitchery? It says, be brazen. And then on the back it says, I'm not easily distracted. Ooh, look, yarn. We thought that one was adorable. This is one I got from somebody. Really cute. I got to pick that one. I can't remember who I got that one from. I didn't know all the people I swapped with. This was another one. A little turquoise. Let's see. I'll put them down. Oh, I thought this one was really cute too. It had two little red shell type things on it. It's a nice big one too for bigger needles, which like I said, I need from time to time. Oh, this one was so cute. Kind of like candy. Looked like candy, sorry. And Kim and Annette knew which one I would like the best. Let me turn my light away and see if that helps. So they gave me this one. There we go. Really cute. Kim had made up a bunch of fortune cookie ones to trade. So cute. This was another one I got from a lady who said she didn't even want to swap. She just had a ton of them and wanted to share. Oh, I thought this one was really cute. It's tiny, and it would go on like sock needles. Tiny little needles. Oh, this one with the little bitty bead. Little bitty bead. And this one I got from my friend Laurel that I said earlier. Had hers all in a stitch holder. It's gorgeous. It's kind of like a jadey green sort of. It looks like it's a stone, but it's very light. And the last one I got in the swap, the people that ran Yellow Rose made some up with big Yellow Rose stitch markers, and they're plastic, so they're light. And here's mine. Slow down. There you go. You can see that. Oh, it's amazing. I love this one. And this one came with a lobster claw. Good for crochet, but I like them too. Because sometimes I need to stick in a marker for some reason. Maybe I dropped a stitch or I need to go back and fix something and I need to know where to go back to so I don't have to keep counting because I'm lazy like that. And then these are two that I made with the jewelry wire. You see the jewelry wire? And I just threaded it through. And I did this one and this one. Let me just hold them up together. Annette had all these beads, and we got together and we made stitch markers and had a lot of fun just visiting and hanging out, which we never, well, we get together at knit night, but we'd never been to Annette's house to hang out, so it was really, really fun. Now, that's not all the stitch markers, but this was all for the swap. Kim had gotten these little samples from somebody, and I thought they were precious, and she gave Annette and me a few of those. And then these little rubber ones that she got, which I love the little rubber ones. And I bought these from Kim. These are neon. And as you could tell from my 1984 yarn, I love neon. Let me take these out of the bag. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Try to hold some of them up. You can kind of see, maybe. No. Anyway, take my word for it. Sorry, they're neon. And the last ones I got from Kim, I bought a package of them from her because I could not resist them, are glow in the dark. And boy, do these suckers glow in the dark. We couldn't even believe it. We were in the hotel room, daylight. The curtains weren't even closed. And we could see just how they glowed. You can't see it because of my alt light. But you hold these up to the light. Let me see here. Nope, you can't see it. Anyway, they glow like crazy. So those are my stitch markers that I got. You know, you can never have too many stitch markers. And I also bought a set from, oh my goodness, I forgot what they're called. Sorry. And this is the Walking Dead set. Here's Daryl's. crossbow. Keep calm and kill zombies. I'm going to turn this away just a little bit more until we get this done. There's Carl's hat. Rick's gun. There are several like hatchets. I'll hold these, try to hold these up to, uh-oh, sorry. Here's a hatchet. Here's another one. And here's a little 1, 2. Also this dagger. A lantern because, well, you know, you need lanterns. And these binoculars, which, oops, move. See that? So those are my Walking Dead stitch markers that I bought. And they came in this cute little tin. Kim has sets in tins as well. Kim also bought us these buttons to wear. Hello, my name is, and I put Jessie's Girl 84, my Ravelry name. I also wanted to put yarn this on there, but I didn't feel like I had enough room. I love Ravelry and Bob. Bob. Everybody loves Bob. And we got a little gift bag from Yellow Rose, and it was for, of course, a bag to carry your purchases around in. But also they had a Yellow Rose tape measure, which I've already put in a bag. And then this cute little coin purse. I've loved these since I was a little kid, and these would be good, of course, to put some stitch markers in. So, yeah, I haven't done it yet, but those are all of my purchases from Yellow Rose and gifts. The last thing that I wanted to show you is some yarn I had talked about in the last podcast, I believe, and it's some self-striping yarn from Mustache Yarns by Stacy Dawson. This is her Star Wars collection. This is the first one, and this is part 1, Droids. It's 15 stripes. It's uneven stripes, and it's 2 skeins. I got the 2 skeins. You could either get 2 matching or 1 of each different one, because she did R2-D2 and C-3PO. So this is the R2-D2, you can see, and then the gold one right here, this is C-3PO. And we're going to cast these on, and I said this last time, on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So that's why I need to get my peppermint mocha socks done so I can cast on for my droid socks. These are the droids you're looking for. I'm really excited, and she's going to do BB-8. So I need to get on the ball and see when then she releases that so I can get that. Okay. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot my little section. Things that make you go, This week's term is frog. I'm sure that if you've been knitting for any time, you know the term. But if you haven't, frogging is when you rip out your project. Maybe not the whole thing, but maybe a hunk that you just pull the needles out and rip back to where you need to go. And they get frogging from rip it, frogging. That's the thing that makes you go, this week. And finally, 1 week. Miscellaneous things about my life. I'll start off with the not so pleasant. I live in Houston, and Sunday night we had a horrible, horrible storm and flood. We didn't get any water in our house. We were very fortunate. Well, we have a place under one window for some reason. When it rains like that, we get a little water there, but it didn't come into our house. It didn't even get up our driveway. But our street was pretty flooded. The water receded pretty early, but the worst part was that our younger son works the overnight shift at Whataburger. So he was at work, and he drives a Honda, so it's very small, very low to the ground. And as the night wore on, he was texting me their electricity went out at 3 o'clock, but I couldn't get to him by then. It was really bad. So at 6 o'clock, I left. I started to leave to go get him, maybe 5. And I started back out of the driveway in my Kia Sorento, and there was no way that it was going to go. So I got my husband up, and I was behind him in the driveway, and he couldn't get around me. So he worked it out so that I was able to get up, and he could get around me, and he got down there and got him. But at one point, between our house and where my son works, which is just 3 minutes away, the water was up to the headlights on my husband's truck. Now, it's not one of those really high trucks, but it's certainly not a small little truck that's low to the ground either. It was a very scary night. We had a tornado watch at one point. There are still places underwater. We know people, like I mentioned earlier, the little girl Lily and her family that have, we don't know what the damage is yet. The water got into their house. I have a high school friend who had 4 feet of water in her house. And it's supposed to rain tonight. Although it looks really bad, but then it keeps getting a little better and a little better. So I'm hoping that the rain we get tonight won't be too bad. However, there are creeks and bayous that are still rising. And so the people that live near them, the people that already have water in their houses or very close to getting in their houses, do not need another drop of rain for a long time. This is going to be a long cleanup. There have been deaths. It's been rough, but my family has been very fortunate, and been a lot of prayers for people who are suffering, and thanksgiving that we were so lucky. Now, the more lighthearted. When we were in Seguin the other night, let me take a sip of water, sorry. We went to HEB to get some things to eat while we were there, so we wouldn't have to eat out and we could have some lunch and whatever. And I needed a pencil to write my show notes because I still thought we were going to do the podcast there. But I didn't have my pencil with me, and so Annette and I went to the office and school supplies sections of HEB and she found these pencils. They're number 2 lead. Look at the colors. Yellow, blue, red, orange, lighter blue, and like a kind of a purpley color. But the really cool part, that part was really cool, but the inside is all different colors too. And it doesn't correspond with the pencil. So this one's orange, yellow, green. That's all I've got for the wood inside, but I thought those were so cute. So I got these. Oh, I forgot to get them out. I got a couple of Pilot pens. One is like a pearly blue and one's a pearly silver. Ooh, they're really cool. And then the last thing I got was this adorable notebook. It's, that's the back of it, sorry. Here's the front. It's got a little elastic to keep it closed, or you can mark where you are in there. Also, it's got little pockets, and it's got little dividers, and it's a small one. You can see that it's small, but yeah, I couldn't resist it. It was so cute. Okay, well, the final thing is, last time I recorded, I said we would have a contest to see, for one of Cece Allman's patterns from her book, Coffee with Cece. Oh yeah, I wanted to show y'all. I'm knitting the peppermint mocha socks. I'm not going to show you the pattern at all. But I've got this little magnetic bookmark, and it's a cup of coffee to go with my Coffee with Cece book. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm really getting into these little magnetic bookmarks. But anyway, I said if you would enter the contest, and if I drew your number, I would get one of her patterns, pattern of your choice, from this book, because she's selling them separately. I only had 3 people enter, and I did the random number generator, and I got 3. Well, it's Annette 79. Annette said that she wanted, let me pull that up, the coffee date shawl. I'll show you a picture of it. I should have marked that. Here we go. Here's a coffee date shawl. She would like that pattern. So Annette, I will be sending that to you. Oh, here's another really good picture of it. You can see what it looks like all held out, and then those are like the stitch patterns in it. Thanks for entering, and maybe next time we'll have a little bit more participation. Well, I guess that's all I had for this week, so I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Until then, knit on.